Since I last made a video, my opinions on Help Wanted 2 have changed 2 billion times. Into the Pit was announced, fandom almost ripped itself in half because of a fake leak, Dr. Talbot has become a household name, Cassidy was the crying child, and then was it, Map had retired, Scott was seen on video, Fnaf got an entire week to itself, we got a new line of books, Springtrap will be in DPD, Into the Pit released, Stitchline was confirmed, new kart race gives lore, Into the Pit released again, Stitchline was debunked. Secret of the Mimic was announced. Tails isn't canon. Actually, Tiger Rock. Tails is totally canon again. He came out.
Jackie, and I'm fucking Becky. Yeah, cause with my cloud power, I am gonna make you scream louder.
Bone Guy not only got a name, but became one of the richest characters in the franchise. Edward Murray has been name dropped, and I got a cat. Does that make me official? In all seriousness though, it has been a minute since I made a video, and while I don't really plan on going back to weekly stuff, I do have something very fun cooking in the background that will release post Secret of the Mimic. But I just had to make a video about the recently released Secret of the Mimic trailer, which really got my theory juices flowing. I think I might have actually solved the Secret of the Mimic before it even releases. But heads up, there are plenty of secrets down here. The Secret of the Mimic trailer gives us the first look at this exciting new game looking to be a direct sequel to the story The Mimic from the Tales of the Pizzaplex. I know I made the joke earlier about the fandom's "it's so over, we're so back" attitude that Tails and Semi-Frights have had in the past year, but I'm pretty sure Tails is canon. Don't ask me about Frights though, that's a whole thing. Even if Tails isn't 1-to-1 to the game, the Mimic story is so close at this point that it really doesn't affect the theory either way. Back to the trailer, there was plenty to talk about in it, but I want to talk about one thing specifically in this trailer, the Tiger Rock mascot. But to talk about the Tiger Rock mascot, we need to go back to December 2024 when Steelworld released a little content update for Help Wanted 2. The Help Wanted 2 content update gave us a lot of setup for this trailer. Not only did this update and the updated 5 laps at Freddy's give us hints toward Edwin Murray and David Murray being in the game's timeline, it also gave us our first look at Tiger Rock. By punching in 1979, the serialized year of the gameplay of Secret of the Mimic, into the desk code in the sister location Bunko, our old pal Glitch Trap gives us a new plushie not in the original game, the Tiger Rock plushie. After this, you do a bunch of other little things and end up getting a double vision puzzle picture of a weird gift shop looking thing and a van that we see at the beginning of Secret of the Mimic's trailer. The van that all protagonists will probably be using to arrive and maybe leave with the Mix's machine, but that's not important for today's series. No, we need to focus on the Tiger Rock plushie. People were quick to notice that the Tiger Rock plushie was a bit odd. Using the power of VR, we could see that the little guy had a zipper on his back and something inside him. Flesh? Or something. People quickly deduced that the flesh might not actually revolve around the plushie itself, but that the plushie model used for this update was possibly a scaled-down model of a full-size mascot suit, and that we will see that in Secret of the Mimic. And as mentioned earlier, the trailer confirms this, as we get 2 very cinematic shots of the Tiger Rock suit in the trailer. Now, you might be saying, or you would be if 90% of the Fnaf fans actually read the book, "Hey Tyler, where was this during the Mimic short story?" If you did, good job, because that's an excellent question, and the very same question that led to this series. If Edwin had made a Tiger Rock mascot suit during or before the events of the Mimic story, wouldn't we have heard about it? David, Edwin's son if you don't remember, was obsessed with his favorite white tiger, probably the one we see in Help Wanted 2, but that is yet to be confirmed. Why wouldn't he have been trying to either play or mention the Tiger Rock suit at all? Hell, the kid has custom bed sheets of the white tiger. This kid would be all over that. And hell, Edwin could have put the Mimic in that in the first place. Well, I think I have an answer to that. The reason the Tiger Rock suit wasn't mentioned in the Mimic short story was because it wasn't made during the events of the first half of that story. See, the Mimic short story is split into 2 even shorter stories. Part 1 being the origins of the Mimic, and Part 2 the recovery of the Mimic, or at least the attempt. Something I noticed even during my first reading of the Mimic is that there are big gaps and cuts in the story. The first half ends with the Mimic being beaten savagely by Edwin in a fit of grief and rage, and then nothing. A few months later, Fazbear Entertainment sends a team in to gather anything of Murray's that belongs to Fazbear, stuff like that. And the end of the story shows Team 2 being brutally killed, leaving massive gaps in the Mimic's history. As we do know, eventually Fazbear does gain the Mimic and creates a line of them. Why is this story so vague, even for Fnaf standards? Well, I think we know now. Secret of the Mimic is a direct sequel to this story, and will fill in those gaps that were missing from the original story. And I think actually this was kind of intentional by Scott and everyone involved, to set up the Mimic story as a prequel to the events of this game. We've actually been hearing about the events of this game for a while. I think our player character will be in Team 3. Coming in now that Fazbear is not just gunning for their stuff, but the Mimic itself. And by game's end, we will be successful, leading the Mimic line to being created. But what does this have to do with the Mimic's secret, and what have I solved? Well, what I solved isn't about the events of Secret of the Mimic, but the events before. See, I said there are 2 big gaps in the original Mimic story. The second one being what I described. Team 2 dies, but Fazbear still nabs the Mimic and creates a mass-produced lie. The first gap is after Edwin wrecks the Mimic, but before Team 1 is sent into the factory. Ladies, gentlemen, and everything in between, my proposal is that the secret of the Mimic is actually the secret of Edwin Murray himself, and it all relates to the Tiger Rock mascot. In the trailer, fans have found a hidden image at 1 minute and 16 seconds. It's a clear shot of the Tiger Rock suit with a mysterious arm hanging near. Why was this a hidden image? It's not like the Tiger Rock suit is hidden in the trailer. As I said, we get 2 pretty clear shots of it. So why this one? Just to be a little spooky? No, I think this is very important. I think that the Tiger Rock suit is very important, not only to the Mimic symbolically, to the lore and the mysteries of these mysterious time gaps. As stated before, the Tiger Rock suit is not mentioned once in the Mimic storyline. I think that's because it was created after David's death, but before Edwin disappeared. I think we'll find out in the Secret of the Mimic that Edwin also carried some kind of secret. Something related to this costume that he made, and that the hand we see in the secret image is none other than Edwin himself. Sure, he seems to be wearing Fazbear Company clothes, but who knows, maybe he had a spare. This is a prediction, it's not airtight. I think the secrets that we are going to discover down in the depths of Murray Costume Manor is that Edwin was the first to toy with the supernatural, and may have actually stuffed his son into the Tiger Rock suit. Remember what I said about the Help Wanted 2 update? Friend is called a Chekovian's flesh. Yes, I think the flesh in the Help Wanted 2 was a little hint to suggest that in Secret of the Mimic, find out that either Edwin or the Mimic stuffed David into his favorite character, the White Tiger himself. Maybe even eventually inspiring our favorite rabbit enthusiasts? Or maybe not. Maybe this image is another sun thing from the Help Wanted 2 trailer. Remember this image? Yeah, I made a whole video on it. It meant nothing. Thanks, Steelwolf. Anyways, this is just a theory, and it's pretty crackpot at that. But we'll see what happens on June 13th, 2025. Hey, that date's kind of familiar. Oh, it's my birthday!